Hello, friends. How are we?
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, I'm Holly Chanel.
I'm Melody Lauren, and this is Dipped with Sweet and Hot.
Man, get dipped.
Come on in the room.
Come on. I'm sorry.
In the room.
You know that's my song. You know.
Got an old soul, friend. That's who says that's their song. That's really
my favorite part. If you watch the video, was it the Georgia Mass Choir?
It's one of them mass choirs from like the 80s or 90s. I don't know.
With old mother
somebody. Jenkins,
maybe. But my favorite part is when she gets off the beat and the choir keep going.
Because you're not going, you just gonna rock with her.
Mother of the church, she's not off beat. No, the choir is.
They're the wrong ones.
They're the wrong ones.
She's got a testimony deep in her soul.
Absolutely.
And you just felt that.
I did. Come on in my room.
Okay, we're gonna stop.
Okay,
we're gonna get into what we're gonna listen, y'all. We always say we have a great episode. And it's because it's true.
It really is.
But today we particularly are excited because we're gonna bring Super Producer Louis. And we like to have Lou do a little cameo every now and then. The hardest working man behind the scenes. He's gonna join us, but he's not gonna be alone, Holly.
He's not.
He's gonna be with his best friend, his best friend, Nathan, and they're going to be talking about, we've been talking about Black love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're going to be talking about this Black love between these two Black men who are best friends.
Besties.
And have been best friends a long time. So it's interesting for us because we're always talking about our friendship and we've shown you guys many windows into our friendship. And we're gonna get a chance to take a little peek into this kind of Black love.
Yeah.
But before we do that, you look particularly chipper.
I am a little chipper. Spirit,
so let's do a little sweet and hot.
Okay, so the last hot that I did was regarding the DNC traffic.
So you got something sweet this time.
And it's about the DNC. Okay. Yeah. So, I believe in continuity. The bar that I work at, we decided to have a Wellesley at DNC small reception. And we had a few Wellesley alums come out.
And the people should know that you're an alum.
Yes, I'm an alum of Wellesley College. That is my alma mater. Go Blue. Yes, indeed. Don't ask me what class. Anyway.
That's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant completely. But I saw a few of my Wellesley siblings. And I wasn't able to see two of my Wellesley siblings because there were plenty of protests here in Chicago. And so trying to get them, traffic
through
was
the logistics.
Through the logistics of the protests and all of that was a bit of a nightmare. But I did hear from a couple of folks. So shout out to Marseille Allen, who I do believe is in political leadership for the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Yes. And to Liz Miranda, who is a state congressman for the state of Massachusetts.
Okay.
Both here in Chicago for the DNC and checked in with me. So it's always great to hear from my Wellesley sisters. And I met a couple new ones at the reception and had a great convo with my mentor from Wellesley, who was in the 70s class, but she came to the bar to the reception and spoke life into me. So it's been a pretty good week. So after the hotness with the DNC, it ended up being sweet. And I don't know if anybody saw some of those speeches. I
caught what were the most meaningful ones to me. I'll put it that.
So Michelle Obama and her braids come through. Come through, sis.
She had that ponytail down to the waist.
She did.
She said, listen, I'm not in the White House anymore.
I don't have to do it.
Been noticing this evolution of Michelle Obama post White House.
Oh,
she has fewer and fewer F's to give.
I was going to say
you was going to actually say
she got no fucks. She left that White House. She said, I gave y'all 8 years. Y'all had 8 years of fresh pressed bob.
That's right. And a silk.
And when she had to go into a lace front wig or a sew-in, her tracks was laid.
Never knew.
The melt was real. You never knew. Shout out to Michelle Obama. You better rock them braids.
That's
Next time I want to see your fro. What's hot with you, homie?
Beautiful. Well, I'm just gonna put a little icing on your sweet.
Okay.
And just say, you were speaking about Michelle Obama. I was sitting there listening on the final night and watching on the final night of the DNC. And I said, we better have a parade of beautiful Black women come through here because I'm just going to name a few. Okay, that took his stage. We obviously were talking about Michelle Obama. Yep. We had Kerry Washington.
Did you see Olivia Pope?
Yes, I saw her. I saw Kamala Harris's sister, Maya Harris.
Baby.
At age 57. Where? Oh. Where? Because I don't see it.
Ain't happening.
She's beautiful. We have Miss Oprah up there.
Listen.
Oprah was up there. And then, of course,
with that Olympic sleigh. Okay. This is.
Get it how you can get it.
Listen, no shade.
Okay. And then, of course, the highlight of the whole convention, the beautiful, the very talented, the very qualified, the more than competent, Kamala Harris, also another beautiful Black woman. And anyone else that I missed, because like I said, I couldn't stay glued the whole time, but I did catch some of those. And that was the thought that I had. I said, let's go.
Listen, we ain't gonna get showed out now.
Let's go. But you asked me what was high.
What's hot, homie?
You know, you went high.
I did go high. I went high.
You go high, I go.
You go to hell.
We just talked about Michelle Obama. I think I missed the lesson.
You did. I love that. Why are you going to hell?
I'm not going to hell.
Okay, you're going low though.
I'm being petty because you just said something very beautiful and something that I got ticked off. Like, I'm laughing. When I say ticked off, I'll use that as lighter language because I didn't get really mad, y'all. I didn't get really hot, but my jaw dropped a little bit.
Okay,
and so
I'm intrigued.
I just want to talk about the audacity of some people to not answer when I call.
Give me context.
Listen, there are some people, relationships in my life that I have grown to expect a certain level of access.
Okay. Fair.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ashamed to say that one of those people is the woman who birthed me, my mother. Yes, I have always expected to be a high priority to my mother.
Melanie, I don't know if I can participate in my mama's hate. I don't know.
She's trying to protect herself now.
I need a new pair of shoes. Okay.
Now, if you don't get that reference, you gotta go back and listen because we talked about my mother and how she shows love by buying people shoes.
Yep.
Holly included.
Yeah.
Okay. So I go to FaceTime. Now, my parents and I live in different cities now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've developed a routine where we talk and we get that connection in a lot through FaceTime.
Okay. All right.
So I routinely FaceTime both of my parents. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what is supposed to happen is that when I go to FaceTime, I FaceTime.
Right.
You answer.
Right. That's usually how it works.
That's the formula. That's
they're retired.
Yeah. They listen, they do plenty of work, but they are living life at their own pace. And yes.
So there's no excuse.
The phone is there. This is what I'm saying. The phone is there. You heard it. You also got watches. Even if it's not laying right there, you can look on your wrist and see that I'm calling and I'm trying to FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that I went to go FaceTime my mother? And might I add that it was quite late in the evening.
Oh.
It was not, when I say late, I don't mean so late that she was asleep.
Right.
I mean,
she should have been inside
at home.
She should have been at the crib.
You know,
because where you going?
Where you at? And so I go to FaceTime my mother and, it's, whatever the sound effect is, you know it, Apple users. And it there we go. And it continued. Keep going, because that's what was happening for me. And so as you do that, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the answer. It's still not coming. And then it makes that sound where it hangs up. Now I know you lying.
That's hilarious.
I know you lying. So that's what I'm hot about.
That's a lot of audacity. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something though. That's bad. But wait until your mama figures out how to send that automatic text message when she declines your call. Because let me tell you about my mama. My mama sent me an automatic text talking about, let me call you back. Oh, no, man.
No, right. Can I call you later? Just that generic canned response.
What?
It's not even a specific response to me.
You talk about audacity.
Where is the, I'm sorry, Melanie, I'm in a meeting. It was not even personalized.
I'm at the doctor's office. Let me call you back. And my mother would usually like pick up the phone like, oh, are you okay?
Right.
I'm at the doctor. Let me call you back.
Where's the concern?
Can I call you later? You don't send me no form.
And when it's later, that's too undefined for me. I'm going to need 5 minutes, 10 minutes. When I get off this call, give me something, sis.
Cry.
The audacity. So there. I end where I began. The audacity.
You are freaking hilarious, Melanie. I'm glad you had a better week than you had last week.
As I always am. Thank you.
You know, we do what we can, but let's dig into the meat of this episode.
Yes.
So, friends, you over the last 2 seasons have gotten a glimpse of Melanie and I's relationship. I think we've gone a bit further than friendship, but not necessarily romantic. Like
not
there's a sisterhood here.
I have to keep explaining to people. We do spend a lot of time together. We are best friends. We're not gay, so we're not. It's not romantic at all.
You know,
no shade to anybody else, but that's just we both just like men. So
very much so. I'm sorry, you were saying,
but I was explaining that it has gone beyond friendship because we help each other in life. You know, we've gotten into emergency contact status. We've gotten into share a few kinds of account status, specifically, you know, some streaming. I'm not going to say anything specific because it might be incriminating.
Because they got us with the Netflix.
What you just said, which streaming app?
We don't doing that one. We're not doing that one.
Well, that's right.
Because they got us.
That's correct. We stopped doing that one. How could I forget? So yeah, Costco membership. I think I explained we were having a live recently on IG. Thank you to everybody who joined us on Instagram. But I was explaining on our live that when I say we share a Costco membership, what I mean actually Holly said we share, and she was being generous. And I'll just tell you what it really is. When she says we share a Costco membership, what she means is she pays for it. She goes to Costco and does the shopping, and then I come to her house and do my shopping. That's true. How we
the way that I look at it.
So membership.
You have one ass to wipe, y'all. You
Correct.
know,
as do I. Only have one.
To hoard all the toilet paper and paper towel.
Because who can use all of that they give you? You see what I'm saying? Package?
We found out during the pandemic. Some of y'all still ain't gone through all of that pandemic toilet paper.
You're the reason why I have all the time because you
just
selfish. Stockpiled it.
But to the point, I feel like folks don't want to hear about us anymore. And there was only one other set of friends that I thought came close
to us. I think people do want to hear about us, but
they want to, and I'm going to tell you what sold it.
A male version.
They want to hear about a male version, but I'm going to tell you what sold it.
What sold it?
If any of you follow Super Producer Lou, over the last couple of weeks, he's been living his best life in Europe. Okay. He's been.
What's his handle? Is it at Mr. Louis Jacques?
Yes, Mr. Louis Jacques. You know, French Creole, Haitian Creole. Yes. And they had the time of their lives. And so, as is custom, we have to have Super Producer Louis on for an episode during the season.
That's right, because we talk about him all the time. You guys should at least hear his voice a little bit.
100%. And we also decided to invite his bestie, Dr. Nathan Connolly, to the pod. So, welcome to Dip with Sweet.
Hello.
I am already entertained. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Buckle up.
So first of all, thank y'all for being here. We appreciate you. But this season, our theme is Black love. And we are really tackling those Black love subjects that go beyond romantic and intimate love, right? And we've talked about communal spaces, parental love. We've talked about
Black love languages, just in general. Specific things that Black people do to show and experience love, express love, I should say, towards each other. Talked about that. We've talked about but when we say parents, we mean father and daughter. We talked about Black people's complicated love relationship with the United States of America.
Yes.
That was our Juneteenth episode. So we've been looking at this Black love thing from a few different angles, but we need to talk about this Black man bestie love that we have going on.
AKA the best bromance I've ever witnessed in my life. Gentlemen, okay, so first of all, welcome to the pod, Dr. Nathan Connolly.
And Lou,
thank you.
Lou, you got to say what's up too. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Nathan. Lou, I was saying you got to say hello to the people as well.
What's good? I am forced here, so I'm here and I'm working and doing this, and I'm just happy to just be part of all this. So we good.
He's taking producer notes and participating in the show
All
at the same
all
time.
that.
He's very multi-talented, ladies and gentlemen.
So introduce yourselves in this friendship. How did this come about? And then lead us into where this trip came from and how, let's start there.
They're
let's
on
just
the
start
heels,
there.
just so everybody knows, they are on the heels of an epic, might I say, European tour. Yeah, I was gonna say trip, but tour is more appropriate.
Like Tribe Called Quest.
It was not a tour. It was two countries does not make a tour. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
It looked like,
I know that sounds like a humble brag. Now it's like, oh, it was only 2 countries. I mean, I feel like y'all made it sound
I mean, because I haven't been to one European country this year. You know what I'm saying? Every place we went was domestic.
But the way Louis was posting, I was like, oh, they're outside in Europe. Okay.
That we definitely were. I'm gonna let Nathan handle the intro to all this, and I'm just gonna throw in where he messes up.
Okay, you gonna sprinkle a little seasoning on top. Got you.
So this is the origin story. And if to start at the beginning, you have to start with the breakup. So the a friendship doesn't happen in some ways unless there's a breakup and a decision point at the breakup. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
So Lou had a young woman with whom he was in a relationship in high school.
How did I know this started like this?
This is what we do.
Okay, go ahead.
and the young woman decided to go to a school in Miami, St. Thomas University, and I will leave her unnamed.
Thank you. We respect
don't do names
here
on the pod.
That's right.
Absolutely. And so she had gotten into a school in Miami, very far, and Lou was like, well, it seems like in this relationship context, me going to St. Thomas University too makes a lot of sense. So he applied. Brother man got great grades. He went. I mean, and I want to just say, like, I don't want to minimize what it takes for a young man to follow a woman to a college, make his college choice based on the relationship.
It was significant.
So the decision point. He goes about applying. He gets in, and then he and this young lady break up before the academic year even begins. Before he even has to get up and move to the school. And Lou decides he's going to go anyway. He's going to go anyway. So now he's at the same college as his ex, right off the top. That's how you start out the gate.
Nice, nice, Lou.
And so when I first met Lou, it's true, but it's about the context because I met him in the very first day of Professor Gloria Ruiz's English class, who's a wonderful professor at St. Thomas University. Big up and shout out.
Shout out to Professor Gloria Ruiz.
And so I met Lou at 8:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, first day of classes formally at STU.
Wow.
Oh, the memory. Come on.
Okay. Listen, we are not going to say dates for when Holly and I met each other, but this is about you.
Well, listen, about you. So listen, if you haven't seen the visual promos for the pod and you're just listening to this, Nathan is giving off supreme zaddy energy right now. Okay. The beard is bearding and it's very zaddy. So the memory is memory. Okay. So anyway, you were saying.
So that was the origin story. So you all met and you became friends. So the breakup now, Nathan, did you play a role in helping your friend get through this very difficult time?
No, that's the thing I got to say about Lou. So Lou, anyone who spends any time in his company knows that Lou is just effervescent. He's magnetic, right? Once he gets going, the room begins to turn. The gravity begins to shift. And so Lou had no problem making a new start at St. Thomas. He became a character right away.
I love this needle that he's threading between telling all of Louis' business, but like big up in his boy. Well played. Continue. Go ahead.
It's because it's very important that you understand that Lou was the guy, even from freshman year. And I don't know if it was because he goes to a Southern school, bringing that Northern New England wardrobe with him, whatever it was. People were looking at Lou like, where did this cat come from? And how do I get what he's got? Outfits the yum yums, the short sets. Like he
Yums.
always had colors. He always had
Oh,
colors.
Lou was
Like
coordinating.
listen. Let me tell you, infamously, Lou was the guy who was the only guy who showed up after Diddy and Mace did the shiny suit video with the goggles.
Oh,
This man deigned to come to campus and be like, I stepped right out the video. I'm rocking. He had the goggles, the whole thing.
Look, it was well thought through.
Bonus points if you find photographic evidence.
Photos.
Yes, please
And
do
there's no shame in these photos. Won't stunting, and I was stunting hard.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Lou was magnetic, and so a lot of brothers were trying to basically be his best friend. This is what I'm telling you. Is actually he got to the point where he was, there were a lot of imitators but never duplicators. And I know about my man. The quickest way for him to become.
You set the bar high for like big up in your bestie. Like I'm
just telling you
over here.
I'm telling you, and he knows. I've told him this story to his face and in the company of others for a long time. So the thing about Lou, one of the best things about his character is he can detect insincerity and he becomes uninterested very quickly. So a lot of these dudes who are trying to replicate, we're doing it from a place where like
unsuccessfully.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, I'm straight, whatever. And so I think the only thing I did that was wise and different from my peers is I basically decided I was going to be myself, even in Lou's company. And that was enough. So I never tried to approximate his wardrobe or his dress. Some people have told me I've taken on his laugh and his storytelling sometimes, but we channel each other from time to time. At this point, we've been friends for 29 years. And in the same way you have...
Keep telling y'all stop throwing numbers out there. Just say a long time.
So in the same way that, married couples start to look similar, like physically over time, it's like they start to dress the same, they start to eat.
Start rubbing up on each other.
Exactly. Lou and I have spent so much time together over so many of those years that there's a lot of like he speaks, I speaks kind of situation for sure.
Okay, so Lou, now I have to ask. So what was how would you have described Nathan when you first met him? Like what was your feeling and what was your sense about this cat?
And let me say I've never heard this story. So go ahead.
This will be interesting. Okay.
Do tell.
So basically, I think, especially with meeting Nathan, one of the things that, we've always talked about is I love the organicness of friendships.
Yes.
So there's no, you don't want anything forced. You don't want anything kind of somebody trying to figure you out in order to make it work. And there was you didn't have to figure things out. It just worked. From basketball to conversations just about life. Nathan brought a breath of fresh air that I was needing. I was at the university, but, I was there trying to figure out kind of what my next step was. And, to meet somebody who is also in that space of figuring things out and being his authentic self. Like, there's one thing where you can have somebody and be like, yo, this me. Like, this is what we do, and have a conversation where you don't have to pull conversation out of somebody. Like, I ain't had to ask him, yo, do you like this? Do you like that? What's your favorite color? All that. Yeah, it flowed, and it was what I needed, to be honest with you, for the 4 years that we were there. I couldn't have imagined being there without him, to be honest with you. Like, this dude helped me through just a lot of stuff. That situation there was a small, quote unquote, small situation. He's been there through some other stuff where I'd be like, yo, Nathan, we need to go out. Something happened. We need to go get some drinks, play some video games. We need to do something. And that's happened, I want to say, more times than not. I was always in a situation where I was trying to, quote unquote, find that right one. And, I was lost in that world. Yeah, I was young, I was naive, and, trying to figure things out. But when it came down to it, Nate's like, yo, let's ride. And we would ride, and we would pull up in his, if I'm correct, his grandmother's, that wasn't Grand Marquis, was it?
So my grandmother had a Cadillac Brougham. We were doing the Grand Marquis. Yeah, what I call the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. This
car was, if everybody knows, this is a long car.
Yeah.
This is, you walk around and take a breather, but before you get to your door, like, it's a long car. But yeah, we were stunned, and that's what we did. We joined groups together. We actually even sang together in a group. Now that's not gonna happen right now.
Ooh,
but it was
Nathan, I never knew.
Lou, now you know you can't say that.
So here's the thing. I knew Louis sang with some other frinds. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Nathan was in on this.
Listen, I need to know
Nathan can dance as well.
I need to know.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Multi-talented. Yes, I appreciate all of that. But what I need to know is when you sang together, what kind of music are we talking about here?
This is funny. So basically what happened was I'm gonna tell half it, let Nathan allow him to clean up the rest. So we pretty much started a group called Drew Who that was off of Drew Hill. So we were making fun of the group. It was more like it was kind of a catchy name. We actually
had 4 steps instead of 5 steps.
Yeah, it was just, we did a lot of stuff. So the great thing about it was, we actually one of our first songs was actually an Usher song. I think it was "You Make Me Wanna," and we actually the chair. We actually made sure to do the dance steps from the video.
Choreography as well.
So the choreography was me.
Now listen,
yes, the choreography was me.
Yeah.
Okay, Louis created the choreography. Now I need to hear. Just give me a little bit of "You Make Me Wanna." Just give me a little bit about what you.
So here's the thing with that one. There, we actually didn't sing that one. What we sang was "Tell Me What You Want." We sang that.
Hey,
because we had 4-part harmony. It was me, Nathan, and 2 other young ladies that were there as well.
It was a color singing group.
Yeah, so but once again, it was just for fun, just for kind of like here's the thing. Another thing that I could do with my boy. It was one of those things where you ask Nathan, and Nathan's like, "Yeah, I'll do it," and I'm like, "Really?" It's like, "Okay, cool." And not that I didn't think he would, but it was one of those things where even if he said no, I'd be like, "I could even be mad at you. I don't know what I'm trying to do at this point." But I just kind of wanted to continue with that, and that's what we did, and we enjoyed every minute of it. It actually became
he rolled with you, Nathan. I see you were about to jump in and do something. I hope it includes singing a little bit of the song.
No. My voice is far too raspy. I'm yelling at kids all day. I can't.
I told you he has zaddy energy. I told you.
But it's funny. I mean, the Drew Who moment was so formative, and yet it felt like a
hilarious group name. I'm sorry.
No, it was the thing because we performed like publicly, like it was not just a sidebar thing like we did. Well, on campus, we never went off campus with it. That was a footnote to like us running the campus newsletter together. He and I were the co-authors, the co-editors of the campus newsletter, Cattails, that ran for what was that, a year, 2 years? It was a year, right?
It was about a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
And it was like we put it under everybody's door, and we got all these stories about like taking this little news like pamphlet and turning it into like jokes, and he would find.
Let me find out they were Downton Abbey, or no, was it Bridgerton?
Oh, Lady Whistledown.
Lady Whistledown.
Shout out to Shonda Rhimes.
Lou has for example, this is actually great timing for this one. Lou has a copy of a Far Side comic. And he doctors up. It's of an old man playing basketball, okay? And I can't even remember now the original story. He colors in the old man, he darkens the old man, and he says, and at long last, Tank finally makes the basketball team. And it's projecting.
Wow.
Forward. Tank was nickname in college.
Called him Tank.
But I was the equipment manager for the basketball team. I wasn't actually a player.
Louis, that's shady.
Everyone
it was all love. It was all love. I mean, because we could kind of do that. So
it was the best jab ever. And now I sit here with the gray hair. May finally make the basketball team. I'm gonna go try out.
So how do we get from that tomfoolery and shenanigans? 20 some odd years later, we've got marriages, we've got kids, we've got different jobs, we've got different locales across the country. How do you all keep your friendship so strong that you can how long were y'all away on this world tour? Just a year in 2 countries?
But he was at the crib a week before, so we were hanging for 3 weeks solid.
3 whole weeks. Okay. Melanie, I love you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Friendship has never been tested like that.
But here's the thing. I feel like there's no real test in that. Like for me, it's like
right.
There might be a test because, Nathan has 3 beautiful children. And the test comes into going, these ain't my kids. And I want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Even that wasn't a test. I think I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. One of the things that that kind of kept us together is every year, or not every year, but even as time went on, we never lost contact, right? So Nathan has moved a bunch of times within his lifetime. And I've only not seen 2 of his homes. I've always been there to either help in some way or check out the place or something where it seemed, kind of important. He's been California when we were in California. So, there was always that, okay, how are we hooking up? How are we connecting? Whether we talk on the phone, like how do we make room to make sure that we still engage in that way, that tangible way, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what kind of made this trip easier because we were used to it because we talk on the phone all the time, you know what I'm saying?
So it sounds like, basically it's been a priority for you both to maintain the connection is what it sounds like. Whether you're moving around different places, showing up to help each other, helping with moves, helping to do this, helping to do that, making sure you call, making sure you stay connected. Because I say
being
that because
Uncle Louis.
Yeah, being Uncle Louis to the kids. I say that because I think it's an important point to make that, relationships, Black love relationships, whatever kind of relationships they are, whether they're Black or not, to be honest, they don't flourish on their own. Even when you have the most organic connection with someone, like you all talked about when you first met in college, and your friendship was kind of effortless at that point because everything just flowed. Life starts to happen. You get other priorities, things competing for your time and for your attention, and not in the same ways that they were when you first met, but your friendship evolved along with that. And you recognize that it doesn't stay tight unless you put the effort in. I guess that's the point I'm making. We have to nurture our relationships that are important to us. You have to make time for the people that are important to you, because you don't get this that we're laughing and joking, but you don't get Nathan and Lewis's friendship without conscious effort to pick up the phone, to come show up, to do whatever. You don't get Melanie and Holly's relationship without conscious effort to show up in each other's lives and to be a part of each other's lives. And so I just think it's so beautiful that, you guys have put that work in.
I just want to affirm everything that you said. I think the thing that has happened in my case and with Louis, and it sounds similar in your all's, and maybe this is part of what the great friendship, kind of secret sauce is, it's not just that you have kind of real life over here and you're checking in. It's that this friendship is getting me through real life things. It's getting me glue through real life things. And it's like you're building that glue. So it's not even as if I have to be like, honestly, this man and I speak every other day, sometimes multiple times in a day. And it's not like it's a conscious thing. It's now like, oh, something happened today that this is who I'm talking to about it, or who I need to get me through this. So just to put the tone on the trip in sharper relief, this was a pilgrimage. This wasn't just a vacation. And this is a very important example of what I'm talking about. So I lost my wife of 19 years, my great friend of 22 years, Shani Mott, this year. Louis has, thank you. Yeah. And Louis has been an absolute steady character in my and Shani's relationship. You understand? So I come off the first blind date with the woman who's to become my wife. I'm picking up the phone. So Lou's there at the start of the story. You understand? Yeah. And Lou is the person who I told when I met my wife. I said, you have to understand, this woman is too attractive for me. I don't actually know if I can handle what I'm a part of right now, because it was just like everything she was about was incredible. So understand that that's the start point. The night that Shani passed away, Lou was in my house. At the Omega. You understand?
Right.
So,
the beginning. And then,
So when my lovely soulmate transitions, the first person I'm telling is Louis.
Yeah, I hear that. Thank you for sharing that. And my condolences on your loss as well. And definitely lifting you and your family.
Absolutely.
No, thank you, but I don't want to preempt the story because all
no,
I want to say
that's
is,
important.
Yeah, the pilgrimage. Yeah,
no, it's
no,
important.
thank you.
I honestly was just I want to hear about the pilgrimage, but I was just honestly gonna affirm what you said. Holly and I affectionately refer to this period that you just described and the work that of friendship in that way. We call that spatula duty.
Okay.
We call it spatula duty. Yep.
We call that spatula duty. And spatula duty has come for me, and spatula duty has come for her, where it is my job, if it's my turn, if I'm on spatula duty, it is my duty to take the spatula and help scrape my friend off the ground from whatever it is that has knocked her down and has not just steamrolled her really into the ground, pancake style, where you need a spatula and elbow grease to get my girl back up.
She ain't lying.
And she has been on spatula duty for me many times as well. And so I think that's so telling.
It is.
And so we get to the pilgrimage. Tell us about the pilgrimage.
Yeah. Last year, my wife and I and the kids had made this vacation to England and Scotland, and it was a beautiful occasion. And that trip wound up being 6 months before she passed. And so there we were 6 months after she had passed, and we brought her earthly remains to be spread at that place of memory in Scotland.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Right. And so, there's only one person I can go on a trip like that with. Right. And he is not just like, again, the last call, that's the first call. Like this is essential that he be there, because I don't know if I can stand up through that process with the kids and with the stresses and with the this and the that. And there were so many times where he lifted me up, but then also, I think this was one of the things that made it real at another level, is like he lost a friend too, and he needed that support. And we talked about that and what that meant.
Lou, can you talk about what were your thoughts and your feelings, and what was this trip for you?
Okay, so I got to bring the other side to this one.
Okay.
Nathan's been trying to get me to go on trips for quite some time. And I've said no many times.
And sometimes I've just started the trip and he ain't know he's on a trip until it gets rolling.
That's a real thing. You just kidnapped him.
So for me, this 2 weeks in Scotland and London was payback for all the trips I didn't say no to.
You're like, okay,
it was necessary. Like if there was a trip I had to say yes to, it was definitely this. Being there on the beach, there's a lovely picture that I want to blow up at one point where me and him on the beach, we're just kind of looking out. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's touching and telling of a friendship, and the sky's beautiful and the beach is fantastic. And we talked a lot on this trip, was open about a lot of things and shared a lot. Interestingly enough, I've even told you all that that's not my thing. I'm not one to open up that much and talk, and like, I pray away from it. Like, what, you want to get deep? Yeah, I'm a roll. I got that up on you, That was my thing, but we did that, and it was necessary on this trip. And we traveled a lot. I knew going in there, this man was gonna have me running around this place. And we did that.
Is Nathan the one that has a full itinerary? Is he the friend that plans the itinerary?
Sent it to me. And and here's my problem. My problem is I don't ask enough questions. Because I looked at it and was just like, Nathan, whatever you want to do. And in the back of my mind, I go, is this where he finally put my foot down and go, Nathan, not today, sir. Not today.
But no. I'm you and me and Melanie's relationship.
I am Nathan.
Like this trip was necessary and enjoyed every bit of it. If anything, it definitely grew us closer. And the funny thing is, and I said this during the trip, before this trip, I actually lost my job that I had for about 7.5 years. So the one thing I kept saying to Nathan was, how am I in London and Scotland with no job? Like, who goes on vacation and have no job? Like, I don't even understand this. Like, and I made sure to tell him, anytime, Louis, we should do this. I ain't got no job. Like, I don't understand. Like, we can't.
What better time though, Lou? What better time?
Oh my goodness. So, okay, real quick. Last question. Where is the next trip? Where's the next bro trip gonna be to?
So the thing about where we are in our life right now is actually Louis is a homeowner and I'm a homeowner. And so oftentimes one of the things that has happened is we take a bro trip. I'll just drive down to North Carolina with the family and like hang out for a week,
I love it.
I mean, in the same way he came up here before we even got on the plane and hung out. So that's definitely the next in terms of us getting together and trying to stop the clock a little bit and live life. But I don't know where internationally, Lou, where you got on the menu.
We talked about Japan. We talked about Italy.
Okay.
And
I love
because
Italy.
of my wife, I have to bring up,
Italy.
what was it? Is it Fiji? The joint with the stilts on it? Like whatever. Yeah, like we talked about that as well. As you can see, she wants to sneak her head in here real quick. So yeah, so there, I feel like there's a couple of things that are in the works before all that happens. You know, and I'd like to shout out, you know what I'm saying, my good boy Leon and Raymond and Jeremiah, and as well as Holly, and as well as Melanie, you know, like we had a trip to Vegas.
We did have a great,
and that's all we're going to say about that.
Because what's the slogan?
What happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas. That's right. Every person in this podcast was on that trip, and it was quite memorable.
And as far as I'm concerned, it stayed with enough. Nobody knows.
That's right.
Nobody knows anything.
But we talked about trying to do something like that again, and just kind of seeing where everybody is. You know, like Nathan said, you know, everyone's in a different place in their lives, whether you're married, divorced, you know, whether you bought a house or, you know, you have a job, lost a job, the situation might be. We want to just get together and be like, yo, there's love here that hasn't gone away in quite some time. So,
yes.
Right.
And, you know, I think what's really interesting to me about what you said is that you guys, in traveling together, you created some space to talk in ways that even though you guys speak frequently, that you don't do in the day-to-day transactions and operations of life. Like you got someplace different in a different environment. You had some time, you had some space. And then there was something about that created that space for you to have some of these deeper conversations. And I just want to highlight that because I think as we talk about Black love and these friendships between Black men, and the love that Black men have for their brothers and their friends. One of the things that we hear a lot is that like men don't talk to each other, right? We we don't talk about stuff like that. Like we talk, but like
sit in silence, and nod at the game,
or whatever. And that is quality time too. I'm not diminishing that because just like people have different love languages, people have different communication styles, and sometimes, especially when you've got friends who've been together for a long time, you don't always need to feel the silence. Like you can actually be comfortable in the silence with each other. And sometimes things just don't need to be said. I do want to just like shout you guys out and highlight and encourage everybody that's listening, because we probably got some brothers that are listening.
And that's the truth. And
talk to your boys.
Absolutely. Talk to your boys. Gentlemen, thank you for being on this podcast. And, you know, to Melanie's point, thank you for your vulnerability.
Yeah.
And because that's what it boils down to, you know. Black men. What did Manny say? Black men hurt on our
he did. That was in that was either on our The Men Get Dipped season 1 finale.
Yeah.
Or the season 2
opener. Exactly. We had a guest who basically said, he was like, we asked the question, what would you like women to know about Black men? And that we hurt too. Black men hurt too. And so regardless of whether or not it's from a place of hurt or celebration, the vulnerability is the point. And so thank you both for being shining examples of that. We appreciate you. I will say personally to the both of you, because I have known you for some time, thank you for setting the example of what friendship looks like, for what it looks like to have someone show up for you and to show up for someone else. So thank you both, and we love you.
Yes, we do. Thank you for joining us. We appreciated having you. It was so good talking to you guys.
I can definitely say.
Go ahead,
Louis. I can
Louis.
definitely say that I love this dude with all my heart.
Yeah.
And sun up, sun down. He knows I got him for sure.
Yeah. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Melanie Lauren.
And I'm Holly Chanel. And this is Dipped with Sweet and Hot.
We will see you next time.
Take care.